12. That's how many anti-ship missiles raced toward a US-flagged tanker before Aegis swatted most of them from the sky. 2 got through. 3 Americans dead, 12 wounded, and a $42 billion cargo erased in flames. But that wasn't the end. Within an hour, Growlers jammed, B-2s lifted, Tomahawks flew. Was that a miscalculation by Beijing, or the opening move of a larger storm? Stay with me, you'll see how a single hit flipped the escalation ladder and why the doctrine of overwhelming precision answered in minutes, not days. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. If deterrence works, why did 12 sea-skimming missiles ever get a shot at a US-flagged tanker? The problem starts with the math of risk at a choke point. A $42 billion cargo riding in a steel hull with 27 souls aboard, under an Aegis umbrella meant to thin a storm, not end weather. Aegis is a shield built for, good enough, against saturation, which means it accepts leaks at the edges when the sky gets crowded and the horizon is busy with civilian traffic. In a narrow sea lane, that margin shrinks. 1 ship. 1 lane. 1 bad hour. The cost curve bit hard. 2 penetrators turned steel decks into a furnace.
This is all the Philippines' legal exclusive economic zone.
He now runs a maritime monitoring unit at Stanford University that records and publicizes Chinese ship movements in the disputed areas. Before the Philippines military deemed it too dangerous. We had to run a blockade of Coast Guard ships to reach it.
Violating China's terror airspace. Leave now. Leave immediately.
3 Americans lost, 12 hurt, and a vessel that should have been a routine haul became an emergency beacon heard around the world. Markets moved, insurers panicked, and a global supply line got hit in the throat. You felt that even if you never saw the flash. Freight rates spike. Schedules slip. The world runs on time, and the clock just jammed. Now the tactical geometry. Sea skimmers ride a few feet above the water, which cuts radar range and compresses reaction time to seconds. Wave clutter hides tracks, and small cross-sections blend into the noise until they pop, hot and close. Salvo size stresses doctrine because the algorithm is not just about intercepting missiles, it's about deciding which fangs to break first, the fast one, the closest one, or the one with a smarter brain. Every choice leaves another threat hungry. Why did Beijing think the latter would hold? Calibrated force, below the line they assumed would trigger a full doctrine response. A hit on commerce, not a destroyer. A window for politics to argue and stall. The bet was that delay creates room for deniability, that the White House would ask for tapes, and allies would draft language. The assumption, a commercial target buys time. That belief met a different playbook. Meanwhile, on Liberty Sentinel, the human line stood up before the systems finished their work. General quarters sounded. Foam systems roared to life to starve flame. Bulkheads closed to seal off the worst of the heat and hold buoyancy. Damage control teams crawled toward smoke with hoses and thermal imagers.
We've also got some Chinese maritime militia coming down from the north to add to this first line of defense that's formed here. So we do a lot of ship tracking. We try to keep up with where China is deploying, in particular China is deploying its maritime militia in China.
Sealight has charted a massive build-up since the summer of 2023.
This is Chinese Naval Warship 552.
Distress traffic went out clean, with position, status, and intent. In chaos, they gave the fleet what it needed, context and seconds. Aegis under saturation is not a myth, it's physics. Sensor fusion lags a beat when multiple emitters and reflections flood the net. The radar horizon is a hard wall you can't wish away, and terminal seekers riding the wave tops live in the blind zone where radar hates to look. Even when you detect, you must classify. Even when you classify, you must commit. Each step costs time. The best crews fight the clock more than the missile.
At the time, I doubted the ship would last another 6 months. It was literally rusting away. 11 years ago, I was one of the first and last journalists to be allowed to visit the reef.
The second line of defense has already formed back here. I mean, if China decides they're not getting through, they're not getting through.
But then the solve. The United States did not debate. It executed. Hour 1 playbook, not day 3 hearings. Electronic attack opened the door. Stealth strike walked in. Long-range cruise slammed it shut behind them. Growler jammers built an invisible storm over the battle space, cutting links and drowning sensors. That cleared a lane for penetrating bombers and a string of cruise missiles that do not care about speeches. The payoff landed on Woody Island. Not a tap, a lockout. Runway cratered into concrete pits. Radars went dark. Fuel sites and port nodes burned. The island's air wing and batteries lost eyes, ears, and legs in a single cycle. A command node became a dead node. The message was written in precision: if you blind the net, you break the teeth; if you break the teeth, you stop the bite. You want the tactical mindset that wins these fights? It's the loop: find, fix, finish, prove.
It's like a busy military highway in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and I would say, up until a couple years ago, this would have been much, much quieter.
Of lethal conflict.
It is imperative that the supplies be delivered to BRP Sierra.
The second line of defense has already formed back here. I mean, if China decides they're not getting through, they're not getting through.
If you want to understand the tactical mindset that wins these battles, subscribe now, because next we map why that island, its radars, its runway, its pier, was the hinge of escalation and doctrine, and how taking it off the board, even for a day, yanked leverage out of an entire theater. Deterrence doesn't live in press releases. It lives in how fast you close a kill chain after a punch lands. Detection, decision, delivery, seconds, not speeches. That speed turns pain into leverage. That's where credibility is built. So now it's your call. Comment your choice below. Was the tankers hit a misread by Beijing or a deliberate probe? You've seen the method, the tempo, the answer. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict. One strike lit the fuse. Precision doctrine wrote the rest. When the ladder is climbed, the ending is not guessed. It's executed at speed.